Hello, my name is Caitlin, and today I'm going to be talking about An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I hope I pronounced that correctly. During the book, we're reading from two different points of view, Leia and Elias. We are there to see Leia's entire world break down. Her house is burned, her grandparents are killed, her parents have been dead, so all she has left is her brother, who has been taken away to a prison. Because he had these sketches of these special skim blades, her family is scholars, so they're not supposed to know about how to make these blades. She's not really sure what to do because she has nowhere to go, so she's thinking, I have to find the resistance that her brother was probably working for. She finds out that her parents were like the leaders of this resistance at one point, and the reason they died was because they were killed. And Leia says she'll do anything to get her brother back, so the leader of the resistance, Mason, sends her to the commandant at the military academy to spy. And she realizes that the woman she's now a slave for, or like a slave for because she's a spy, not really just a slave, that woman has the faces of all the people she's killed on her wall, and her parents are there, like she sees them like this woman is the one who killed them. Her storyline is just terrifying. I can't imagine going through this, and she keeps saying, I'm not brave, but there's like that little voice in her head that she is thinking it's her brother pushing her on, like, come find me, come save me, and that's like the only thing she's really holding on to at this point. Elias was my favorite character to read from. He's the son of the commandant, which we don't find out for a little while, but that woman, I cannot see her being motherly at all, ever, and I mean, she obviously wasn't. But Elias is a mask. He's like at the top of his class, ready to graduate, and he wants to get out of there. He does not want to be a mask. He doesn't want to be, a sword for the emperor. These masks, though, are creepy. They form to their faces. Like, all I can picture is the mask, like the movie with the green mask and it just becomes their face. He's like the last one. People make fun of him because his mask hasn't formed to him, but that's because he keeps taking it off because he doesn't want it to form to him. Once it's on there for good, like, you can't take it off without ripping all your flesh off. I just had a really gross picture in my head of like how it like would like sink in and like clench onto their pores is how I pictured it. So whenever he took it off, he's like, it's resisting, and I'm just like, it's just on his skin. A really interesting piece of this book was the the ghosts. I'm not exactly sure what the mythology is. I didn't really catch on to it very well with the wraiths and all the different things like that, but Leia can see them. Can other people see these? I know Taluman, the swordmaker, could, because he helped her fight them off, and you can only fight them off with skim blades. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. I'm not sure. Do they feed off of fear? Because Leia has so much fear at this point that they're like overtaking her? I was kind of worried there was going to be like some sort of possession scene, but that hasn't happened, which is good. I don't think they do that. I'm just kind of confused about this and how they work, and I don't know what the Jinn are. Maybe this is like some sort of myth thing that I need to look up. Maybe I'm just behind on the times. The resistance. I like Keenan. I like the woman that wanted to help her. I didn't like Mason from the start, but I really liked Keenan, and I like the relationship. I am Team Elias 100%. Like, Helene is cool in her own right, but like not together. I don't see it. Like, I am Team Elias for Leia. But I didn't dislike Keenan. I just, not together. I don't know. Something just like extra interesting, I thought. With books like this with the switching points of view, I have a tendency to not remember who is speaking. But I really like this. It's the same with Legend. This book and Legend, they both did very well being able to know who was speaking at all times. And it's not just because the chapters are short, because they are fairly short, so you're kind of like easily remembering who is speaking to you, but I thought they had very definitive voices, and that's something I really appreciated from this writer. We also get many new words. I am an English major, but I still didn't know a lot of these words. I was having to do a lot of context clues, polyaxed, what does that mean? I liked from Leia's point of view, we see, you know, her spying, making friends with Izzy. I really liked Izzy's character. I hope we see her in the next book. I loved the sneaking out to the moon festival. I like pictured them, okay, like the scene from the Pink Panther where they're like up against the wall and then they like turn and back. I pictured them just doing that on a rock wall. But it was still really fun to watch them like getting out and kind of having like girl time, going and dancing. We meet up with Mason. He has no real plan. Like, I picked up on this. This is so vague. He's not saying anything about the plans of how to get our brother out and just like, trust me. Why should we trust you? Why? I don't understand. Oh, we should have picked up on this earlier. Like, But then I got distracted from this anger because we danced with Keenan, and that's fun. And then we danced with Elias. That is fun. It's like, I mean, as a reader, we obviously know it's Elias. I loved how he's like, kind of turned back into this like kind of jovial tribesman or whatever. And he's dancing with that one woman, and then he dances with Leia, and they're just so cute together. I just love them. And then there's that raid, and they've got to get out of there, and Elias like reveals himself so they can get back, because I was so much tension at that point. I was very worried, but they made it back. Everything was fine. Helene is mad at Elias. I understand Elias not picking it up because they were such close friends that he may just not, if he didn't feel anything towards her romantically, like he just wouldn't have picked it up. But I love the moment with Tristas. Tristas is engaged. So, like, everybody picks on him because he's, you know, lovesick puppy, and it's so cute. And he tells Elias that Helene loves him, and Elias is like, oh my gosh. He doesn't feel that way. I hate Marcus and all of his degrading comments towards Helene. Like, she is their equal. She may not be better than Marcus, but she is right there. Like, she's not a weakling. She's better than most of the boys. She's, like, third in her class or something. Back to Leia's storyline. We see Cook, and Cook is an interesting character to me. She stutters whenever she speaks about the Resistance. Leia has the scar, the K from Karis for the torture, and Leia's like, I would never give up anybody. And Cook gets really mad at her. And she's like, you have no idea. That was not torture. Cook is very protective over Izzy, and she's like, you don't know if you'll give up Izzy because you have not endured the pain that the Commandant can give you. Cook has those scars across her face from the Commandant. I think that Cook was in the Resistance, and she was the one who gave up Leia's parents. Because why would she have such a hard time speaking about it? Why would she get so mad when Leia talks about her parents? If she wasn't the one who gave them up, like, she cannot even speak about it. And later we find out she really didn't like Leia's mom. And she doesn't really say much about her dad. I don't know, I think maybe there's a connection there. Something went wrong between Leia's mom and Cook. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but definitely, I think she sold them out because she was tortured so badly. And that's why she gets mad. Leia's trying to find the secret passage that Mason wants into Blackcliff so that they can storm this school, which is impossible. It's full of fighters, but she's still looking for the secret passage. Mason's still being super vague. At that point, I was thinking, her brother is dead, or he's not going to go get her brother. This does not sound like a plan where this man's going to come through. Elias and Helene are pitted against each other in this fight. Everything's kind of coming up to that crescendo. Everything's kind of rising up. These trials to become emperor, everything is getting more and more intense. And I thought Elias had killed Helene, which from a story perspective I was okay with because I want Leia with Elias, but like for Elias as a character, I was like, this is going to kill him. He's not even going to be able to continue with the trials because Helene is his best friend. But she's not dead because the augurs gave her that special suit, like the armor. So she's disqualified, which means she's gonna die. I was kind of confused. Helene had said, you don't know what I've given up for you. At that moment I was thinking that's why she wore the armor, because she knew if Elias really did kill her, that would, I mean, he would just crumble. He would not be able to continue fighting to be emperor because he would be so torn up by this. So maybe that was one reason she was okay with wearing the armor that she knew would disqualify her, because she couldn't let Elias kill her. Because, like, kind of for the greater good, because she made a deal with the augurs. And then on the other side, Marcus was pitted against Zack. And Marcus kills Zack. And we finally see a little bit of humanity from Marcus, because his twin is no longer there. It did just like kill me just a little bit inside. Like, I hate Marcus, but that moment where he's standing, receiving an honor, and he looks over his shoulder for his twin and realizes Zack's not there. Like, he's just so used to just looking back and smiling, even though it's a smirk and he's evil. That just, it hurt a little bit because he was gone. I eventually liked Zack as a character, I think, a little bit, because he was like Marcus with a soul, kind of. Leia is imprisoned, or she thinks she is. She thinks she's in a cell, but she's actually in Elias's room, which speaks to how nice these rooms are at Blackcliff. And he's come back from battle just completely destroyed. And then they just talk all night, telling each other that they're not evil. Like the other, you're not evil, you're not evil. And that was cute, because they were both just in such a dark place. There's the trial of loyalty, and everything just goes down. I knew Leia couldn't be dead. And Elias, he tried to, like, protect her, which is good, obviously. But now he's gonna die. And Helene is gonna be Marcus's blood shrike. The only speck of light we have here is that Leia knows about the secret passage to get into Blackcliff, so she goes to tell the rebellion about it. And her brother is going to cough. Unreachable cough. Mazin has been lying to her, and now the last member of her family is going to the prison where her parents and sister were tortured and killed. There is a possibility that her parents, or I bet it's her mom, if anyone survived at Koth, it is her mother, this lioness, as they call her. We might see her, like, we might get to see her, because they're there to suffer and eventually die, but they're supposed to suffer for a while, and I think if anybody could have held out, it's her mom. Maybe we'll see her. She talks to Keenan about this. Keenan is mad at Mazin, like, he was not really part of this. He tells her, I'm gonna take care of everything. Which is interesting. Like, I like that Keenan really is looking out for her. Like, I think he's, like, kind of fallen in love with her kind of quickly, but I'm okay with it, even though I want Elias. I like both of them. Elias more, but still. But what I really loved about that scene was when Leia realizes she's not okay with this. She wants to take care of it. She's finally coming into her own. She doesn't want someone else to take care of her. She wants to be the one to figure out the plan, be the one to see it through. She doesn't trust anyone right now, really. But she's starting to trust herself, which I think is a really important turning point of this story. Elias, at this point, is in the dungeons because he's going to be killed the next day by Helene. Ooh. And his mom comes down. I'm not sure if she was going for a mother-son bonding moment. I feel like that's what her version of this was, but it was basically like, I was human for a moment, but then she says, I regret not killing you. And I think this is where she's trying to relate. She's like, don't you regret not killing Leia? But he doesn't regret it. He's like, I could not have taken that life. And now he's thinking the prophecy he got from Cain of, being free of body and soul. He realizes now, he's like, how could I not have realized he meant death? But he's making his peace with it because he realizes if he had killed Leia, like, that would have been him losing his soul. Like, in his mind, that would have been the way he lost his soul and become more like Karis. And then the chapter cuts off, like, right when he's getting ready to be killed. But then we have the scene where Leia is getting ready. Like, she's getting prepared to go pull off her new plan. She's gotten Izzy out of Blackcliff. She tried to get Cook out, but Cook is staying. I think Cook is now self-punishing because if she really did rat her parents out, that's why she wants to stay. She is going to suffer to help see this through. And Leia has another moment, like just another character moment, where she is constantly in this dialogue where she believes the other voice in her head is Darren. Like, she thinks maybe it's like a connection, she can just tell what Darren would say to her. And she realizes, no, this is my voice, and this has been my voice all along. He pushing me forward, making me brave. It's herself. I love scenes where the hero's getting dressed to go out to battle, and she's getting dressed up kind of like a mask. Like she's in like, you know, the loose fitting clothes so she can fight, and I'm like really ready to see this last scene. They set off an explosion. The axe has touched Elias's neck. He's bleeding profusely from his neck because Helene almost killed him. And she's like looking at him like Elias is like, I have no comfort in this world except if Helene will look at me, because he still takes solace in their relationship, like their friendship. And she does give that to him, and I was like, oh my goodness. But I mean, luckily we did save him. This is when Elias realizes that Cain's prophecy wasn't death. Like, he is actually going to be free. Leia rescues Elias, which is something I would not have seen coming, so I really liked that. From the beginning, the way Leia came across, she just wasn't strong, and now she's saving a mask. Helene tells that like heartbreaking story about her real deal with the augurs to swear to whoever won, and she's now sworn to Marcus, and Leia and Elias are escaping. And Helene says, I'll cover for you this one last time. And they have this mutual understanding. After this, they're enemies. After this, Marcus is going to send Helene to hunt him down and kill him. And she can't say no because she's made this deal with the augurs. I like that Helene is so faithful to what's right. Even though I'm mad that she may not be faithful to Elias in that way, like she's now his enemy, I respect her character because she's so bent on what's doing right. I think she's going to find a way to break this oath, or the augurs may just let her out of it, but I'm interested to see what happens to her character in the next book. I'd love to see some from her point of view. I don't know if we're going to get that, but I'd really like that because she's not going to be with either of them in the next book, I don't think. We end the book with Elias and Leia underground, and they're going to go get Leia's brother out of Koth. Just the two of them. I know that Elias is a mask and that he knows Koth because he had to work there for a while. This still seems like a really big undertaking for two people, so I'm interested to see how that goes in the next book. The next book does not come out until August 30th, and it is right now February. Okay. It's called A Torch Against the Night. I really like the title. I don't think we have a cover yet. I haven't seen a cover for it. It's probably gonna be cool. I love this cover. It's really pretty. I feel like it really captures the intenseness. I give this a 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. It's just a couple things were difficult for me to understand, I guess, with the different ghouls and such. But yeah, it was really, really good. Really enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Bye!